Hi, welcome to the 13th floor. I'm Marty Duda. Today we have with us two members of Psycho Gab. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Gilda.
You are
Rosetta.
And you are?
Caleb.
Caleb. All right. And there's 5 of you all together. Is that right? So who are the other guys?
So we've got Finn McNeil on drums, Orlando Cooper on bass, and Max Henley on guitar.
Okay, so you've got a new single coming out.
Yeah. The song's called Gabben, and we're really, really excited for it. It's kind of one of the first songs that we wrote all together as a band.
And how did that work? Was it a mess?
I don't know. It's interesting because we started writing it, like a year ago, just over a year ago now.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like taken many forms across that time, but it's kind of good that it's evolved so much because it's definitely at a point now where it's like, yeah, this is what it's meant to be finally.
Okay. And you did most of the production on it, right?
Yeah, we had the opportunity to record at Big Fan, the studio in Morningside, which was really awesome.
Yep.
And we also did some drums at the University of Auckland at the KMC.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all studying there, so it was nice to be able to use those facilities. And Caleb got one of the residencies at Big Fan last year, so we had like a week in the studio to just.
So when you have a residency at Big Fan, what do you go in and do? Do you work with different musicians? Do you play around with some gear? Or what's the?
So they pretty much just gave me the whole week to set up shop in one of the studios and kind of do whatever I wanted, like the whole time.
Okay.
And then I was able to just bring everyone in the band over, and we just pretty much did Psycho Gab music all week.
Nice.
And then they'd feed us lunch and.
They feed you lunch too.
Yeah.
Well, you can't beat that.
Yeah, it was an awesome week. But yeah, so
that's good.
Gabben was the byproduct of that.
Of a free lunch in Morningside.
Yeah.
Nice. Alrighty. So you kind of are described as neo soul. Mm-hmm. So are you soul music fans? Do you have a do you know much of the past, the history of it? Yeah,
we take a lot of influence from kind of. I guess we call ourselves neo soul because it's kind of this crossroads between a lot of different genres in a way.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of fusion of like pop influences, but also like a little bit of jazz in there. Finn, our drummer, is at jazz school, and we're all quite into a bit of jazz and soul, and then that kind of like modern neo soul or like alternative R&B. Like a lot of our influences are like Erykah Badu and D'Angelo and stuff like that. So kind of a big mesh of things.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is your second single that you're releasing now. You had one last year. What was it called? Messy.
Messy. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So are you thinking further ahead than that?
Yeah, we are.
What do you got planned?
We've got another single coming out soon, which
is
quite.
In the can already?
Yeah. It's coming sooner than you'd think. But it's quite different to the two. I feel like Gabben and Messy fit quite well into that like soul pop R&B kind of bracket together, and then this next one is definitely a bit more on the experimental.
Yeah, but left field.
Okay.
And then later this year we've got an EP, which is really exciting. And then.
So are you continuing all writing together, or are you kind of going off on your separate ways again?
Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of how the band kind of started was with Caleb and I writing together, and that's like Messy was definitely the starting point where Caleb and I wrote it together, and then we were like, wow, this is really cool. The sound is kind of unlike anything we've done as solo artists before.
Right.
And then we were jamming with the guys, and it was kind of like, okay, this is quite a cool thing. Let's keep this going. And then Gabben was like that first piece where, like for context, Caleb and I had just moved into our first flat. It was during Cyclone Gabrielle, which went on to influence the name Psycho Gab.
Of course.
And then. Yeah, and then we started using all of these storm metaphors in Gabben, and it kind of became that starting point. And then a lot of our creative process now follows that in the way where it's like a lot of writing from you and I as a starting point, but then, the finished product wouldn't be possible without the band and the jamming it as a group and hearing everyone's different ideas, and that's kind of the great thing about being in a band, I guess.
Cool. And you did a gig at the Wine Cellar recently?
Yeah.
How did that go?
It was great. Yeah, we had the opportunity to play with a couple of really talented musicians. Vida, they do like really amazing like art pop, kind of similar neo soul, but they've got all these cool like extraterrestrial kind of influences as well, which is just like super left field and super cool.
Okay.
And then Chelsea Prestiti, who's just the most incredible jazz singer. She's in this band called Skila as well. And she said she was going to do a solo set, and then she pulled up and had this like stacked lineup of jazz musicians doing percussion and flute and all sorts of other stuff, which was really cool. And we just feel very blessed that, you know, alongside the making music side of things, we can do a lot of really cool live shows and just play with some really talented musicians.
Yep. So I saw you at the Tates. What did you think of that? Do you see yourself eventually accepting an award there?
I don't know. I wasn't even thinking about that. It's just so nice to go to those sort of events, and that was my first time at the Tates, and feel, I don't know, just that really strong community of people that love music in New Zealand. And I feel like there's a lot of conversations happening around music and media that can feel quite dire and scary at the moment, and it's kind of like, oh, what are we doing going into an industry like this? And then you go to something like that, and it's like, actually, like, even when there's no funding and no infrastructure and no kind of wider support, there's still that love and that network of people that really care about it and like are invested in smaller independent musicians, which is really cool.
Excellent. All right, well, let's give this song a listen to. It's again called
Gabben.
Gabben, and you've got, is Orlando playing with you on this?
No, just the two of us.
He's just sitting there watching in the background. Hi. And you're going to play piano?
Kayla's
you're
going to play piano,
And you're going to sing?
I'm going to sing.
All right, let's see what happens.
Okay. A puddle on my doorstep, 1,000 wish you would, rain clouds in my head, a storm misunderstood. I'm tired of waiting for sunshine after every fight. I'd rather face the elements than try to prove I'm right. The wind carries your words and feelings flood my room. I'd sit in the eye of a storm to find clarity with you. So when you see a blue sky and the weather starts to clear, we won't let it go to waste. It wasn't easy getting here. I'm swept away in waves of you. I'm crashing up against the rocks. I'm washing up in some place new. Possibilities unlocked. I'm tired of waiting for sunshine after every fight. I'd rather face the elements than try to prove I'm right. The wind carries your words and feelings flood my room. I'd sit in the eye of a storm to find clarity with you. So when you see a blue sky and the weather starts to clear, we won't let it go to waste. It wasn't easy getting here. Oh, when you're my cloud in the sky. Oh, when the weather reads my mind, I know that the sun will rise. I'll be here with you, safe and dry. The wind carries your words and feelings flood my room. I'd sit in the eye of a storm, finding clarity with you. So when you see a blue sky and the weather starts to clear,
We won't let it go to waste. It wasn't easy getting here.